everyone. It's Nicole with History Unmuted, and we are back with our podcast. And I wanted to introduce everyone to Adam. Adam is joining the podcast now, and he is one of a close friend of mine for a really long time. And he's full of knowledge, full of history, and also very, very knowledgeable in terms of these upcoming elections. So, Adam, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, how y'all doing? My name is Adam. I am really into history and I am a big election nerd. So we're going to be talking about elections a little bit more on the podcast. And we're going to still hit on history and everything else, but we're going to be hitting on current events as well. You want to take it away, Nicole?
Yeah. So, what we're going to be doing, kind of structuring the podcast a little bit differently. I know before I was kind of saying some past historical events that really were muted by textbooks. So, they were mostly stories, I guess, in terms of like not really widely known or said. But now we're kind of pivoting more towards looking towards these different candidates into the elections, especially highlighting ones that really should be focused on in terms of their stances. And then additionally diving into kind of weekly what's happening in terms of the political world, because history is happening now. Even what we're doing right now is history. So it's just really what's recorded. And one thing I want to really kind of also harp back on in terms of what I started when we started this podcast is like how George Santayana in long time ago said, if we don't learn history, we're bound to repeat itself. But he didn't mean it the way we took it, the way Winston Churchill when he repeated it. It was more or less, we need to really look at things and kind of focus on what's happening and make changes, because if we don't make changes, it's really just going to stay. It wasn't as inspirational as it was said, is what I was really
Yeah.
trying to get at there. And history also too is what is recorded. So it's really important for us to really, that's why we kind of want to pivot, is to get what's happening now also out there, because this, again, like I said, this is going to be history, like, and the history books in the future are going to be wild. Am I right? And I'm like, oh, can you
Like the
imagine
meme
the
says,
Lego videos?
yeah, the meme says, I'm tired of living through historical events.
Right.
Yeah,
I
we kind
just
of are, honestly.
Right, and Nepal is gonna be, I think their history is gonna books are really gonna be really funny. Their whole uprising that happened, a few months ago, and they used the One Piece flag as
Oh,
their,
yeah,
like,
I saw that.
sign of rebellion. The history books are gonna be wild. That's all I gotta know,
They,
but,
I guess
um
they already are wild.
right? So while we're rambling on, we'll go ahead and hop into it. We really wanted to kind of look at these upcoming, elections and in preparation for the primary elections. And the ones that are upcoming right now are Ohio and Indiana. Actually, they're both on May 5th. There's especially, I know Adam definitely wants his on a certain candidate from Ohio, that was also previously a senator. Adam, if you want to go ahead and
Yeah. Okay, so Sherrod Brown used to be a senator for Ohio, one of the few Democrats that actually went on in Ohio. Is a very Republican state. He's trying to become a senator again, so he's going against. Well, technically, he's not the Democratic nominee yet, but he is likely going to be it. He's already been a senator, but if you want to talk a little bit more about the other candidate, Nicole, right quick.
Oh yeah. So there's another Democratic candidate called his name is Ron Kincaid. He's running on for the Democratic place. So he's kind of interesting. So when I was looking into him, so he is very like Ohioan, like he's very pro Ohio, his state. Like he doesn't want to listen to outside voices. He has been very vocal about not taking any PAC money, which I think is really good for candidates now, because like, it's supposed to be America first. So if you're going to be America
Yeah,
first, why take foreign entity, like any foreign entity money? Like
yeah,
that's not America first. You're literally putting somebody else's um objectives above your own because they're giving you money. Like that's
hmm,
weird. So it's very great that he's doing that. He's really focused on like clean energy, like tax fairness. He wants to lower the rent and build more affordable homes in Ohio, using actually Ohio union labor, which I think is pretty dope. And he is even like proposing to expanding like care choices in terms of healthcare through like public option that also kind of works alongside with private insurance so that people can like, really have more of a voice on their plans. So I think that's really neat. The only thing that's kind of like really hinky kind of to me about him is that he hasn't really like been very like vocal in terms of what's happening in the Middle East and in terms of like, you know, Israel and Gaza and things like that. So it's kind of like y- yeah, he's not taking PAC money, but like where do you stand too? So it's kind of iffy in terms of that.
Yeah, I know. I don't like when candidates are upfront with how they feel about things. A lot of candidates, a lot of politicians don't like to say anything to upset anyone, especially Democrats,
Yeah.
especially establishment Democrats. Staying on nothing is like the Democratic establishment's like key go to because they don't want to accept their donors, make their donors mad, and they don't want to piss off voters because they don't like doing anything, and it's just gonna make everyone mad when they don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That would make sense. But I mean, like, also, come on. If stand proud in your stances too, but that's my own personal
yeah, yeah.
opinion.
But
So,
so Sherrod Brown's the very likely Democratic nominee. You never know, but it'd be pretty shocking if he wasn't. So this race is to
mhm,
replace JD Vance. He was a senator before. Now he's
mhm,
Trump's lapdog. And
right.
so it's a special election. And he is very likely going against Ron Hudson. He's a Republican, Detroit area. That's where he was born, adopted. He went to Dayton. He has a lot of career experience. He actually was a senator in January 2021, lieutenant governor. So he's been a senator already because he was appointed. So Sherrod Brown's trying to take him out. Sherrod Brown is for a Democrat that's not like a Bernie crat, and so he's kind of more of a establishment Democrat, but not as bad as like a Chuck Schumer. He's decent,
Yeah,
especially
I feel
given.
like people need to understand that there's a scale for Democrats. Like, there's
Yeah,
more conservative Democrats, there's, like, liberal Democrats, and then you have, like, super socialist like, I
yeah,
feel like people need to know that there's, like, levels.
yeah. I think establishment. Sorry, my mouth's gonna dry. I think
No, you're
establishment Democrats are the bane of our society and democracy, honestly, because they don't. Again, like I was saying, they don't do anything. They don't allow change, and and they let Republicans just walk all over them, which is happening in
right.
this administration. Chuck Schumer is
Yeah,
just a clown. Jeffrey's a clown. Like all of them being replaced mostly.
yeah. No, I totally agree, like,
Yeah,
the whole
and
cabinet, it's
Nicole's been telling me that everyone needs to be replaced.
yeah, I've
Everyone
been
can
saying
get
that,
it.
everyone needs to go, like, and I'm
Yeah,
sorry to the listeners, but I'm even down to even AOC and Bernie. I know that sounds so terrible, I understand that, but we need to see everything needs to be refreshed, everything. Like, but I digress.
yeah.
I won't get onto my
I,
my
I might
tirade
not be
on that.
that. I'm not that. I'm not that
Yeah,
extreme, but a lot of them need to be replaced.
but don't get
And
me wrong, I do like Bernie and AOC, like, that's
yeah,
no
yeah,
offense to them, it's just the whole generality of everything.
yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I think, Brown's a pretty good, like, candidate. The only thing that, like, really I found hinky in terms of Brown is that, like, which I don't know if you know this, which me, I'm, like, really big on, like, let's not choose people who take APAC because we need to put America first. But, like, Brown actually, like, signed a, APAC sponsored letter, like, that urged during Obama's administration to
Yeah,
veto any one-sided resolutions against Israel.
yeah,
And,
yeah. He's
so they have, like, a really mixed, Like,
really mixed bag. I mean, he took $1 million from
yeah,
pro-Israel lobbyists, so he's not perfect. Like I said before, he's not perfect. He's not a progressive, honestly. But the unfortunate thing about it, and especially in red states like Ohio, you kind of have to get what you can get. As long as they're not like like a mansion from West Virginia that's not going to do anything and doesn't give a shit
yeah,
about anyone.
mhm,
So, I mean, Democrats need dissent in my eyes. I
yeah,
Republicans are completely not doing anything when it comes to holding Trump accountable. So
that part.
they have to, honestly, the Democrats in my eyes have to take back
And it drives me
both House
so
and Senate.
yeah, it drives me so crazy too, because like, back to the whole accountability thing, because, like, do you remember during Obama's presidency where everyone lost their whole damn minds because he wore a tan suit?
Oh,
Or
man,
that one time when he asked for Dijon mustard? Like, the horror.
how
Like,
far
what?
have we came, honestly? Like, it's crazy.
Right, now we literally have a guy who's like, "Yeah, I'm building this ballroom. Oh, by the way, the ballroom's a bunker." Like
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, I'm just all this" like, I just can't. I cannot. And also the same
Mm.
guy who recently, which I don't know if you saw it in this past week, um, Dr. Oz was talking about it, how Trump likes to argue with him about how Diet Coke kills cancer because it kills grass.
The fuck?
I'm not even
No, I didn't hear about that. I didn't hear
yeah,
about
I'm
that.
not even joking. I'm not even joking with you. Donald Dr. Oz
I didn't
literally
hear
was
about
like,
that.
"Yeah."
That's
He
wild.
says that Diet Coke kills that's why he drinks it, because it kills
That's
cancer because it kills
crazy.
grass. Someone should tell him about
Crazy,
arsenic.
crazy.
Just kidding. Jokes.
That's
But j
wild.
it's entertaining,
Yeah, that's a
entertaining.
joke. Anyone
Oh,
listening,
yeah,
that's definitely a joke.
jokes, jokes.
So I'm gonna go with some polling
I
data.
mean,
So,
Coca-Cola is basically like arsenic. You can literally kill, rust off your car with
y
Coca-Cola.
yeah, it
So,
does
I mean,
crazy things to your stomach.
he's probably maybe close on that with that just being said.
I don't know. Evil never dies, so,
Sorry, it's so funny, so funny. Okay,
um,
back on
back
track.
on
Sorry, I
topic.
love
So,
yeah. Oh my
the
gosh.
polling. So, this latest poll,
Mhm.
has Hudson, the Republican likely candidate, beating Sherrod Brown by about 1.1%. Another poll had Sherrod Brown by 2. So essentially, they're tied. It's about a
Yeah,
3-point margin, in which
really
in
close.
politics, about 3 points is in the general error for yeah, margin error. Thank you. Shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's pretty much tied right now. It's a really close race if they had it today.
yeah, it's just really unfortunate that Ohio is so red, and I personally know this because I don't know you probably don't you don't know this about me. Most of my family is from Ohio, and my
Oh, I didn't
father
know that.
grew up in Ohio, like, he's no longer here, but I remember growing up, like, riding in the car with my dad, and he would not I'm not even joking, I mean, every time we're in the car, and there was never sometimes we'd listen to Kiss and AC/DC and, George Thorogood, the greats, but, like, most of the time, it was Rush Limbaugh. Road trips were horrible.
Same. My
Just
dad always listened to
horrible.
Rush Limbaugh and
I'm just like, "Man,"
conservative radio,
the
or he
sound of
listened
his
to
voice,
classical
like,
music.
burnt in my brain. Rush Limbaugh
So
voice.
I'm writing a book right now, and one of the chapters is going to be about how Republican media has completely brainwashed entire generation, and Rush
Wow.
Limbaugh is one of the main components of that.
He was not a good person.
He was
I
not a
don't
good
care anyone
person.
cares me. I will die on that hill. He is not a
No,
good person,
he was
like,
not.
rest
But
in pieces because
yeah,
oh, I digress. Um, so, yeah, we can only hope on May 5th that Ohio makes the right choices in terms of that. Additionally, like, on top of, with these senators and things like that, sorry, I know I'm going a little off because I know we really want to highlight onto the senators and stuff, but when
Mhm,
I was looking into it, there's actually a person who is running for governor, which I was kind of like, oh, interesting. It's a woman named Amy Acton, and she's running
mhm,
on the Democratic side. But like this woman's kind of
mhm.
interesting because she has no political background. She actually is
Nice.
a medical provider,
Okay.
and she's running against, was it Vivek Ramaswamy?
Yeah,
Anyways, he's
yeah,
on the Republican
Burma
side. Very, yeah, it's
he ran for
Trump.
president in 2024.
Oh well,
Yeah, he, uh,
that's
he he, like, ran for president for, like, 2 seconds, and Trump said, "Get out of the race," and he got out of the race. So, yeah, he's kind of a he was like a tech person or some, like, really wealthy sleazeball.
oh,
He's yeah, not a huge fan of him, but he's probably gonna win, unfortunately, given that state. Which is
yeah.
the other crazy thing about Ohio, like, it like, they're so Republican, but they like Sherrod Brown for some reason.
Maybe because he's more on the conservative side of the Republican, or not Republican, Democrat.
The Democratic side, I guess, but, like,
Like,
he's even more pro-labor than a lot of other Democrats, which is kinda why I don't mind him. He at least acts like he cares about the working class.
yeah, so the Amy Acton person that I said, she's pro-labor too. And she's, yeah, that's one of the things that she stands on. She stands on that and energy, as well as education, and she really wants to, work on, like, the, um, healthcare, obviously, being a medical
Yeah.
provider and stuff. So, we'll
So, let
see.
me see, and we're gonna go to just gonna talk about this a little bit more, and then we're gonna get off, and we're gonna talk about other things. So, right now, Sherrod
Mhm.
Brown has raised a ton of money, about $10 million from donations. Again, we're being transparent. A lot of money, probably APAC money, but
Yeah,
that's the
just tax
unfortunate
money in
thing.
general.
A lot of politicians is they cannot get away from this Israel lobby slush fund, which
I just
they crazy the how much APAC has a impact on our elections, or APAC adjacent groups as well have a humongous impact on our elections.
yeah, no, especially since because we have, like, rules in terms of receiving, like, being able to lobby and things like that, and they don't even the APAC has, like, even special rules. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to look into it, and we can discuss it, on a later, like, on the next episode or whatever, because,
Mhm.
like I said, I'm not coming to my brain, and I don't wanna misspeak, but and I know there's, like, certain things that they didn't have to in terms of criteria or something. I have to look into it, but, like,
I
it's
mean,
all
like
very,
super
very
PACs and
sketchy,
PACs and like
and
is very
I don't
sticky.
even know why we even have any sort of foreign entity, any foreign lobbying, period. Like, why are
Yeah.
any foreign countries lobbying for our, like, our process, our rules, and what we're doing in, like, our elections? Like, that does not make sense. And I
No.
don't even think that any of our candidates should even be allowed to take foreign money for their campaign, because at that point, like, where does the conflict of interest come in? Like, if you're taking money for your campaign to run to be able to get the seat, and you get money from a foreign entity, who's to say that's not, like, let's say bribe, or in a sense or something, to, oh, we're
Mhm.
helping your campaign, so later. Like, that to me is so
Yeah.
iffy, and it's very yucky.
Yeah.
And the fact that we allowed it to happen is just mind blowing. I
It
don't
is mind
understand.
blowing. Yeah. Money in politics is like one of the biggest issues going against our democracy, honestly. The wealthy just completely dominate everything. Like they've done studies about how like a lot of American people want certain policies, but they never get those policies. And like the wealthy get whatever they want essentially
Yeah, and
because of
that's
massive campaign donations.
yeah, and that's why we are in the position that we are. It's
Yeah.
It's the 1%. It's
Yeah,
always the 1%.
seems like it.
Just I don't even
But, yeah,
like
if we wanna switch to something else, we're gonna end this episode right quick, and we're gonna talk about a couple other things, okay?
yeah, I'm happy to jump onto something else. What do we want we wanna get to things that are happening this week or
Yeah, okay, if you wanna bring up the files, or shared, notes right quick, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
See
Oh,
if,
and just to everyone listening, this is we're really starting this new kind of like dynamic. So it's gonna be kind of a roller coaster, but I'm glad you guys are along for the ride.
yeah, we're trying to get out of all of the bugs and everything. We're still kind of getting used to, even talking on camera, honestly. It's still kind of, jarring to you're talking just to the camera sometimes, and you don't even you
Yeah.
misspeak, or you mumble your words, or you say things that you didn't even mean to say. So we're gonna be talking about current events this week. We're gonna talk about Strait of Hummus. I don't ever say that right.
Yeah.
Hormuz or
Hormuz.
hummus, or yeah.
I think it's Hormuz. It's
I think
interesting.
so.
I know
Either
I
way.
say Iran bad because, I'm from Oklahoma and a country accent and I get dragged
Yeah,
on TikTok,
we're
but
both
that's
from
fine.
Oklahoma. Both have, like, we talk like Hicks.
Yeah. Mine
But
comes out
Trump,
more on a
try to
big
have yeah, mine just comes out in general, honestly. But, Trump, he issued a blockade of the
mm,
strait because he's trying to add economic pressure to Iran to
mhm.
get them to open the fucking straits, what he would tweet at midnight. But, they're not doing that. Iran's essentially saying, "Fuck you." Um, is this causing more issues?
Mm.
They are negotiating, we'll see. But, maybe they'll get a deal. I doubt that, but I I'm hopeful, honestly, because I don't think our economy can last a couple more months of this bullshit.
No, and I was actually looking and from what I was actually seeing, Iran is actually saying like, "Nah, we're not negotiating anything." Like they're I know they met with JD Vance. That was an actual meetup negotiation, but prior to that, like these phone calls that the president is saying, from what I understand, is like not going down at all. And additionally, too, from I don't think has the whole blockage of the Strait of Hormuz and like that. I think it's also not just a power play, but I also think Trump also thought that he could do that to block others because, places like Japan where they get, like 90% of their oil, crude oil from like using that strait, um, he's trying to force these other countries to buy from the US because, we got that oil from Venezuela, which I need to look into it, which I don't know if you know this. They were going to direct that oil to Israel, but ended up directing it to Greece.
Oh, no, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, so we can talk about that next time. I'll look into it more to kind of get more details and context, but I was like, that's a little sus, especially given on the news recently. Well, I say recently, it's probably a few weeks ago, about the ambassador from the US and Greece just splurging taxpayers' dollars. And we can probably keep that note for a topic
Wow.
on the next time. It's quite
I didn't know
ugh.
have heard of any of that, honestly. That's crazy.
Yeah, and if any listeners, like, they know I made a TikTok in terms of, like, China saying, like, "F your blockage, we going through," and it's crazy because so many people are like, "Never happened, didn't happen." Literally 2 ships made it through. And it was
Yeah,
talking in terms of just using the strait in general, and these people were like, "They ain't getting oil, they ain't doing this had methane, whatever," and it's like, it's about using the strait in general, and not only to 2 Chinese which these people which in a world like, I'm gonna go on my little tangent, in a world
no, go
where there is
ahead.
Google and AI and libraries are accessible, these people don't look up jack. It's like
Yeah.
7 other ships on top of the Chinese ships made it through the strait. Like, hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
like, for reference, Nicole made a TikTok about how China's like, "Fuck your blockade, we're doing it whatever we want," and, oh my god, the comments are insane, like, a lot of the
I just
comments are like, China ain't gonna do shit. Fuck China. We don't need them. They need us. Like, do these people live in a completely different fucking universe? Like, China's our number
That
one trade
part.
partner. You fucking morons. Like,
That
honestly,
part.
they
That
have
part.
a billion people and a fucking great military. Like, what are we talking about?
See, and I don't and a lot of people are like, "China can't take us. China ain't nothing." Listen, we have been around here in America for 250 years, okay? If you've seen me on the TikTok and you see me now, like, I'm Asian, okay? Like, I'm Asian. Asian history goes deep. Dynasties, okay?
Yeah.
Long time history. That's dynasty money. Not only that, here in America, like, I don't think people understand, especially when it comes to these other countries. In America, you can choose if you wanna join the military. You can choose if you wanna go to college, but places like Russia, you get a choice. You either go to the military or you go to college. So not only do they have most of their people are either soldiers, they're either soldiers or educated. Okay. Other Asian countries like Korea, South Korea, and well, even North Korea, for example, have mandatory military service. That means every single one of those civilians are military. And these people aren't getting that. I say every single one of the civilians. Let me backtrack on that. Not the children who can't make it into the military. Anybody who's old enough to go in the military
Yeah, of
are
course.
technically veterans. They are all service members. They all did their time within their country's military. Like they're militarily trained. And you guys are like, what? No. And like, it cracks me up because I don't know if you recall this. And this is during the riots in LA. I think I mentioned we had discussions before about it, but
Mhm.
during the riots in LA back in like what the 90s, 80s, I can't recall timelines specifically. Again, people look things up. If you hear this, look it up and be like, what the heck is she talking about? It's
It
Google's
was
free.
90s.
Um,
It was the
right.
Ronnie Key
During that
riots.
time, who came in to help the LA riots and all this craziness get stopped? The rooftop Koreans. Okay. They just went up there and was like, snipe, 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 snipe. And it was done. Like, get it together, people. Get it together. And not only that, we have what, 340 million people in America? Like, let me look up how many people are in China.
It's over a billion.
Well, let's see, adult age, because we're going to
Oh,
look in
yeah.
terms of like who's the military. Let's look at that. We have 340 people, period. Okay. That's including children. But people of adult age, 1.4 billion. And
Yeah.
y'all are like, they can't take us. All they have to do is load up their airplanes and come park. Okay, that's all they can do and unload. Like, are you
Mhm.
kidding me? Like, just come on up.
The
I want to make.
arrogance of Americans is never
I just
not astounding.
it kills me. It absolutely kills me. And like, they don't understand the significance of this strait. Like I said, Japan had to release, their a lot some of their oil reserves because they get 90% of the oil and things like that through that strait. So this is really hindering Japan. And I know we're gonna do a different segment, which I don't know, listeners, if you guys watched the TikTok, we've had a video come up in terms of we're going to be talking about Japan and how their role in American borrowing and things like that, which this all plays a part. And this Iran war is really just like you know, honing that in.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I definitely would listen to that and kind of see in terms of that because there's a lot of things coming in terms of how prices and the economy is really going to change, really because of Japan, because they played a major
Yeah.
role in U.S. economics, and a lot of people don't realize that. And it's been since the '90s. They
Yeah.
basically built us out, as you know. Um,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So I'm like, oh, and, like, apparently over 200 million people are 65 and older, but still, that's still way more than Americans. Sorry, I got sidetracked.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Regardless,
So
like, our military is a great military, it's very powerful. I sound like Trump, but, it's not as strong as we thought it was, given given the, given the Iran situation. Like, we're struggling to stop a country that's spends, like, $10 million a year on defense. So, again, Americans are stupid. They believe whatever they wanna rephrase
it's
that. Certain Americans are
majority.
stupid. They believe what they wanna believe. But anyway,
It's the propaganda. This has
the
been
propaganda is the
ongoing
problem.
since the Red Scare was so just powerful. in terms of a propaganda tool that we are still experiencing it in 2026, which to
Mhm.
me is so wild. Like, if people actually looked up things like Marxism and things like that, I bet you they read it and they'll be like, "Oh, this kinda makes sense." Like, if they can
Yeah.
understand and read it, 'cause as you know, most Americans, they can't read past the 6th grade level.
That's why
I
Trump talks
wonder
at a
why.
4th grade level,
Yeah,
so,
and honestly, this that goes all the way back to Reagan, but you don't want me to get into that
yeah.
POS.
That's like my, Roman Empire right there, Reagan destroying our country.
Oh my god. He was he was the devil. I don't care what anyone
Yeah,
tells
he
me. Ronald
was the
Reagan
devil.
was the devil. Oh, but I digress. I get sidetracked.
Yeah.
But, also to add to what we were just talking about, um, apparently in terms of troops though, uh,
They added about
they
another
have
couple few thousand
so no,
to the
well,
area.
they lead in all nations in active military is what I actually just looked up and find out,
Oh,
in terms
are you
of
talking
military
about China?
personnel. Yeah,
Oh,
so they actually
yeah.
have 2 over 2,000,000. It's like 2,035,000 whatever troops, but and the next one who has the, next largest in terms of troops is India, which is, like, almost 1.5, million, and then the United States is, like,
Mhm.
1.3 million
Yeah.
troops. So, like,
And it's like
Americans saying
most
that
people,
Chinese
2nd most
military
people,
cannot
2nd,
take
3rd most people.
they literally have almost twice as many troops as we do.
Yeah.
But people are like, "Nah, they can't take us."
Yeah. It's
Look how
wild.
fast it was for me to look that up, guys. It's crazy, it's crazy. But at all
I
at the
know,
same
right?
time, the people who listen to us are probably ones that are like, "We get it. We know. We understand." But even if
Um,
people who are opposition listen to us are probably like, "Liars, fake news."
yeah, it's crazy, like, it's just the people. And, like, other countries are taking China's lead, like, they're essentially saying, "Fuck the blockade," like, it's Trump. Other issue with Trump is he says one shit and he does other shit, and, like,
Mhm.
you never really know what he's even wanting to do because he's always all over the place.
Which I don't think people it's so, like, weird to me that people just don't see that he's just a bully. Like,
Yeah.
he's doesn't do anything but bully people. Like, and it's so just you can see it because you can sit there and a reporter will say something like, "What are you talking about? You're stupid. You don't know how to do your job. You don't know what you're doing." When they're not like,
Fake news.
"What?
Yeah.
You just wanted to bully you're just bullying that person because they were speaking facts?" Like,
Yeah.
and then people are like, "Yeah, Trump, talk crazy. Yeah." Like, what?
Yeah.
I think just America's just we have been so engulfed into entertainment culture that we don't take things seriously like they should, and I stand by that. I stand by that. Americans need to get a little more serious because 'cause they're so unserious.
They
But at
really
the same
are.
time, I also do appreciate the unseriousness. Portland, talking to you with the frog and the
Yeah.
inflatable costumes. Top tier,
Oh,
top
I
tier.
didn't even hear about that.
Oh, what? In Portland when they were doing when they were doing the, protest against ICE and they were, like, fighting against ICE, but they're not fighting against ICE because they were peaceful protesting. They were
Yeah.
showing up with bubble machines and ukuleles and
Oh,
music and people in inflatable costumes, and they were dancing in the streets. That was literally their
yeah.
protest.
No, I didn't know
You
about
should look
that.
it up, it's
No.
so funny. Yeah, when I go to the
Okay.
No Kings things here, I when I my dog wears a frog hoodie in solidarity for Portland.
That's cute. I didn't know about
It's
that.
funny. Little Pomeranian, don't judge me, guys. Um,
So,
but back to the train
before
hormones though,
yeah,
or
sorry.
what? What do you go where were you guy going?
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna ask you about the war with power as a vote because we were talking about that before we started recording.
Yeah. So, like, this whole war with Iran, which I need to make something really actually very clear with some people. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Congress didn't approve it. Congress didn't approve it." Congress hasn't approved war since the Vietnam War. Okay? The Vietnam War. And how many wars have we had since then? the Middle Eastern war with Iraq and Afghanistan after 9/11. There's so many different wars that have occurred, and Congress didn't call those either. Like, so that to me is kinda like, ugh. But anyways, I digress. But Congress put up this war power resolution to kind of restrict Trump's, like, authority within this war. He has to get congressional approval in order to do things kind of going forward. And my flabbers were gasted, when I found out the news of how that kind of went down. So the the war powers resolution failed by a single vote, and this was voted on today, which as we're recording this day on the 16th. Um, it failed from 213 to 214, and the one vote that voted against it, which again, I say every MFer in that cabinet needs to go, was a
Mhm.
Democrat from Maine, Jared Golden. He's the only
Oh,
person who voted no.
that's crazy.
And yeah, um, there was a Representative Warren Davidson who voted present and 3 Republicans did not vote, but the one no? Like, are you kidding me? Apparently explained his opposition. He argued that, like, the US is currently, like, in a ceasefire with Iran and in negotiations, so a resolution would weaken our hand.
It's wild.
I just see, I have no words. Like, I'm like, I don't even
Yeah.
know what to say to that. Like, I understand how he could probably, like, think that way, that it could weaken our hand, but at the same time, we shouldn't even be in this war. So
No.
and we need to restrict his power because, like, it's ridiculous. We're literally bombing children. We're bombing children. It doesn't matter. And it's not like they're going and there's so many violations of, like, international, like, law and like, rules of war. It's mind-blowing.
But the thing
Literally
about
just
it is only, the laws of war don't apply to America. This applies to everyone else.
yeah. I mean, I feel like America treats all the rules like like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't apply to us. Who's she?
No,
What are
it
you talking
really
about?
doesn't.
Girls?
Really doesn't.
Ugh.
Yeah. So do you want to move on to, JD Vance going to Hungary and Orban losing? Wanna talk about that right quick?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, we can go back to really in terms of that. Yeah. Um, I just find it really, really funny, just JD Vance's streak. Like you go up and do these things and you fail a lot. Like just recently he had the Turning Point USA thing and like
Oh my
every
god, I was gonna talk about
this
that too.
big old stadium to fill it up, and there was, like, not even 25% of people filled up the place, and, like, someone yelled
Yeah.
at him, calling him, say, "You're killing babies." He kept yelling in the background, so that was pretty interesting, but and then on top of that, way back when he first visited the Pope, and then the next thing, the Pope died. So and now he goes to Iran to go and it's just comical to me, it's just he can't win for nothing. He can't win for
No.
and that's I'm not mad at it technically, so but, I
No.
mean, ah, so he goes to Pakistan, and it was, like, more than 20 hours of negotiations, supposedly, and then
Yeah.
he just pulled the plug on him. He was like he failed to agree, and I honestly I don't know we don't really know how these talks went, obviously, because 'cause they're closed doors talks, but, like, I can only
Mhm.
just assume that it's America's like, "You're gonna do this, 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 and this, and this, and you're just gonna accept it." Like, I feel like that's how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like it's negotiations. I think it's like, "Hey, we're gonna bully you and we're gonna threaten you until you
Yeah.
agree, and we're gonna do this for 20 effing hours
It doesn't
plus."
help when, Vance has to call Trump 6 to 7 times when, during the negotiations. It doesn't help when Trump is at a UFC fight and Rubio's at a UFC fight while they're trying to have negotiations, like,
Oh my
"What are
I
we
don't even
doing,
wanna talk about
people?"
the UFC.
Oh,
The
yeah,
UFC
but,
things. Do you hear about them gonna do one on the White House lawn, on the South Lawn?
yeah, I heard about that,
On
I heard
South
about
Philly?
that, yeah.
Yeah, they're apparently the UFC is like it's like to build the whole stadium, it's like they wanna build a stadium of, like, almost 5,000 people, and it's like $10,000,000.
Huh, that's crazy.
I just I don't understand. But anyways, sorry, I digress. Um, yeah, it's I just I don't even know why they think they can bully people, especially with Iran. And, you know, going back to kind of I mentioned before in terms of like history books and the Lego videos are gonna be wild. The Lego videos, I don't know if you've watched all of them or not. They are actually
I watch a lot of
pretty
them. Yeah.
accurate. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are very, very like I was like, I can't see no lies in these
Yeah.
videos. Like no
Um,
lies.
my fiance says that she doesn't think Iran's doing it, but I'm like, I don't think it really matters. It's still speaking facts.
Yeah, so I actually saw an interview. So there's 2 creators. So there's one, of the rap videos, which are
Mhm.
that I'm ready for the
Yes.
soundtrack, okay? Soundtrack of this war is fire, fire. And there's one guy who's doing those, and he actually writes the lyrics to all of those videos. Like,
Huh.
this dude is but I watched an interview. He actually did an interview. I didn't see the other guy. I saw like a snippet of something. He did talk to somebody. But the one that I really watched was the guy who was doing who does the rap videos. And man, there was some questions he answered, and he had an interpreter, and he's like, there's some questions like we ain't answering that. But they did cave and said that they did work with the Iranian government on some things, but they were very like we ain't talking about it sort of thing. Um, so that was pretty interesting, and there was one that was really kind of I don't know if you saw the very, very most recent one that was released today, but there was a video pretty much saying, you're being lied to, America, you're being lied to." And at the
Of
very
course.
end, depicted America basically, um the people of America in just a really bad position. I'll just say that. Well, guys should look it up. Look up this guy. He's a freaking artist, like
It
music
speaks
artist,
volumes that
Lego artist.
yeah.
And I don't know if you know this too. A lot of people are like, why isn't Lego saying anything about this?
I was
Like,
about to
why
say
isn't
that,
Lego
yeah.
doing one? Right? Because people don't remember. Okay, Lego is a Denmark company. And who does Denmark
Oh.
own? Greenland. So Lego's like, we ain't saying we ain't saying
I
shit
didn't
about
know
it."
that's funny. I didn't even
Right,
think about
copyright, who's
that.
she? Who's that?
That's wild.
Yeah. So that
That
it adds just an extra layer of funny to me that, like, everyone's like, "Hey, just go for it. Silent
yeah.
solidarity." And I love it. I love it. I love that for them. I do. I love it for them.
So, speaking of
Ah,
everything that JD Vance touches either dies or fails, he went to Hungary, like, last week to, support, Viktor Orban election, and
yes.
Orban, the fascist, got his ass kicked.
Yeah, and I just l I did you see Hungry celebrate? Did you watch? So, once that dude won and, like, they celebrated, he he was dancing, like, on the stage and just jumping around, like, because they were so happy that they defeated, like, the people that Trump was, like, pushing for, and they're like, "Nah,
Yeah.
not here."
I don't
And,
know if you
like,
guys heard, but my my
I
Alexa was going crazy,
did
sorry.
Yeah, no, and it's totally cool. And then, like, it also kinda takes me kinda back to, when we were talking about how Obama wore a tan suit and everyone was freaking out. We literally had our vice president use our American tax dollars to travel to another country to promote another politician.
That part.
And
And it's funny because
there's
because the Catholics are getting into of Trump and the Pope and everything, and, uh, Congress people and Republicans signed that, saying that, the Pope needs to stay out of politics, like, but you guys are in Hungary politics.
right.
If
It's
the Pope would actually let you guys, he would probably have like a wing of the White House by now.
I
So,
swear the theme of this administration is rules for thee, but not for me.
pretty much.
Like, Jesus.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Ugh. and everything they do. Just I will hope people understand and start recognizing this that every accusation is projection.
Yeah.
Everything is projection. And like that even goes down to just a lot of the propaganda here that is like very thick in the US, especially when
Mhm.
in terms of like Islam and things, but I won't even get into that because that's a whole touchy subject, but yeah. It just blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Yes. Americans are the most propagandized people in the world.
And they don't see it. And, like
Mhm.
and that's why also it's the whole starting of this podcast and wanting to give kind of context of stories that aren't told because a lot of people don't realize, okay, in terms of the things that are being in terms of history, that this is how I explain it to my niece, and my niece is 8 years old. I told her
Uh-huh.
you gotta look at I said, "You gotta look at history like this," because I always teach her to, like, research everything and look at all sides, and how I told her is that you gotta look at history like gossip. I said, "You have friends who gossip at school, right?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Who's the loudest?" Right? The ones who tells the story the most, the one who's, the loudest of it, that's what really gets said in and what people believe, right? And she said, "Yeah, and that's not always the truth, is it?" And she's like, "No." And I said, "Exactly. That's just like history. It's whoever is the loudest and writes it down, and then boop, that's history." And she's like, "Ah." And
Yeah.
she's like, "Trust nobody," basically, girl, basically. So you, like, really
Use
have to, like, dive in, and you
yeah,
like,
use your
what
mind.
kills me yeah, and also don't sit in an echo chamber, like, that also kills me, and I see a lot of
Mhm.
that happening on both sides. If you sit in a
Yeah.
room with everyone who agrees with you, you're never gonna learn anything.
That part.
Sorry. It is what it is. You're just never gonna learn
Yeah.
anything, and it's just I don't know. I know I'm rambling, but
No, you're good. You're good. I
I
mean,
just
speaking of echo chambers and, people that don't like to, admit they're wrong, did you see the Trump Jesus photo? Or oh, sorry, the Doctor Trump photo.
Yeah, doctor. It was Salvation Army or something.
Something so, yeah,
Red Cross. I think he said Red Cross, was it? I think it was
the
Red Cross
yeah, so
or
that's what he
something.
said. He said, like, he's like a Red Cross he's like a doctor for the Red Cross,
But
and,
I'm like,
like, he uploaded it if you guys don't know, he uploaded a photo of him looks like a Jesus, he's touching some man's head, and there's, like, all, like, a whole bunch of, like, angels and shit behind him. It's like an AI photo. And,
it's
like, a lot of
wild.
people were getting mad about that, and they said, like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "No, I'm a doctor, like, I'm trying to help people and stuff." And, I think he actually meant the photo was doctored, but he said doctor. So, I don't know if you've been seeing this, but, oh my god, the internet's so funny. They've made so many memes about it, it's hilarious.
See, I think he really meant doctor because I heard something about him also mentioning the Red Cross, like a Red Cross doctor, like,
Maybe
what?
he did, honestly, that's
I don't freaking
wild.
know, but, like, I don't know why he thinks that that's going to be a believable story just anyways, because let's not forget, just a few months ago, he depicted himself as or was it a few months ago? I can't even timelines are so jacked, like,
Yeah.
I can't the time is so crazy. Whenever it happened in the past, but
E
during this administration,
every day is
he depicted
like
himself
a complete
as the
cycle.
Pope. Do you remember? He depicted
Yeah,
himself
I
as a
did.
Pope.
I remember that. Yes, he did do that.
And I think there was also another one where he depicted himself, like, as an angel or something else that was, like, religious based, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
"Sir, sir, stay off the internet." Like,
I
come on,
think
get
he
back.
just, like, very late at
Ugh.
night, just on the toilet, just uploading stuff to, like, Grok or something, like, "Make me a Jesus orange Trump."
One thing that I really wish that people would do in terms of this, like, president and presidency is, like, think about it as if this was just like a random stranger in your real life, okay? If you were on Facebook and someone that you just like, you weren't really close with, but you knew who they were, but you didn't really,
Mhm.
or maybe someone that you added on Facebook because it was like connections, but you never really met in person. And then that person posted that picture of themselves.
Yeah.
Like, how would you feel? You'd probably like, that was weird. Um, little
Yeah.
heretic like, but like that's how you would react to somebody, in you could literally physically talk to, like, Trump don't give a shit about nobody here. He's not gonna talk to, and we're all commoners, we're people, okay? So, like, in that terms, someone that's close to you, you would react like that. Why would you not do that to a stranger who would never talk to you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
because he's the president, if anything, then you should be extra, like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
You know? It just ah, mind-boggling, and don't even get me started on the documents.
Oh, that's a different episode. We got to.
That's a whole 'nother thing, but at the same time, I'm like, if people were accused of that or even accused of associating like that in your real
Mhm.
life, most
Mhm.
people be like, "We ain't being around them, we ain't talking to them,
Yeah,
disconnect, absolutely not." And
that
those are people
part.
that you know. Those are people that you associate with. Those are people that you had a connection with, and you are willing to cut them out. But a complete stranger, because they have a title, it's fine. My mind is boggled by people, like, just boggled. But
Boggle,
I
like, it's
digress.
wild.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
any association I could not. But again, yeah, I always go off track, and I am so sorry.
No, we're good. We both have really bad ADHD, so we both kinda ramble.
That's very true.
The last thing, we can talk about is the economy and kind of the cost of living. If there's nothing else you wanna talk about?
Well, I do also want to know, I don't think a lot of people notice this because the news and the media is just a lot of censorship these days. Um, we are, we're Oklahomies, and I say that very all the time on the podcast. I'm an Oklahomie, and as we know, DHS Secretary is now Mark Wayne Mullins, who, oh, I just the fact that he put Mark Wayne Mullins in that Homeland Security Secretary of Homeland. It's see, my brain is just, like, frazzing out because I just can't. He was a horrible senator. He didn't
Mhm.
listen to his constituents. He didn't care to listen to his constituents. I've called his office number, and they're just like, "Whatever." They don't care, like,
You
at
know, it's
all.
funny, my dad used to
Not
work
only
for him,
that,
actually.
like, he even stated, and this was, I think if this was on Fox News or something. I know Fox News, blah, 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 but he
Mhm,
still said it regardless of the station that aired it.
mhm.
He called the Trail of Tears a voluntary walk. But
Yeah, you told me
anywho's,
about that, that's wild.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but aside from that, I don't know if it has any association because I haven't looked into it, but at the same time, like, I haven't really seen this very big in the news, but the acting ICE director, Todd Lyons, he submitted his resignation letter to Mark Wayne Mullins, and that's like,
It's
"Whoa,
yeah.
whoa."
I mean,
Also, too, I
that's
find it really interesting, talks of ICE has been really kinda quiet lately,
yeah, it has
or I
been.
don't know if it's censorship or what's happening with that, or
I
it's
think
because
the
the
Iran
DHS.
war is just taking up so much oxygen.
Yeah, and the shutdown, right, that
Mhm,
occurred, but at the same time, I'm like, "Wouldn't they still be operating though? Because they're supposed to be in the airports?" I know they
mm,
had the with the TSA, they got that I know with the also I don't we talked about this before too, but not necessarily here. And I know I put a video, on, the TikTok, but the TSA people also, looking for video game enthusiasts for air traffic controller jobs.
that's wild. I
Yeah.
didn't hear about that.
Yeah, no, yeah. The FAA is looking to recruit video game enthusiasts for air traffic controller jobs.
That's
They're
safe.
actively hiring. For people out there, it's a six-figure job, okay? It's money, but it's one of the most dangerous jobs. No, it's like top 5 most dangerous and most stressful jobs in the world.
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah. Here in America, just what, like, last year or the year before, I can't specifically recall, but there was a woman who was an air traffic controller who got sucked in an engine. Like, that's how scary this job can be.
hmm,
So, and just to have these like, don't get me wrong, I'm a gamer, okay? There's a lot of multitasking things we can do.
mhm,
But I'm just worried
yeah.
that kids, and it's a very dangerous thing, and oh, I don't know. Sorry, I went off ice into the airport because they were at the
Oh,
airports.
yeah,
Whatever, but
yeah, that's fine. That's, That's just like a whole different type of craziness. Hopefully, they
Yeah.
get out of that situation because ICE is just makes everything worse.
Yeah, I don't think they are because if anyone I don't know if you read Project 2025 at all, when it's brought up a lot, especially in this administration, even though Trump in the beginning was like, "I don't know what that is. What's Project 2020?" Just playing
Yeah.
absolute himself. Um, he in Project 2020 sorry, not he, in Project 2025, it talks about privatizing the TSA, which is yeah, so I'm not saying that things are not gonna go it's not gonna be privatized, but I definitely, think that it will be because there are so many things that are within Project 2025 that are actually being enacted right now, and it's scary, so
That
but
is
I
scary. I didn't
digress.
even know about that. I didn't know that, they wanted to take over TSA.
Yeah, I strongly suggest for you to go look into Project 2025. There's actually a Project 2025 tracker website. I can't recall what the website name is, but easily
Mm,
Google just Project 2025 tracker. It'll pop right up. I know we're definitely over 50% completed on Project 2025. And people forget there's also Project Esther out there. And
mhm.
yeah,
I know about that too.
people
I've heard
really need
about it.
to read into it, because if you start reading it, you're like, "Ah, this has happened. Yeah, these are up. Oh, this is coming up." So you can really actually kind of mentally prepare on what's coming into the US and what
Mhm.
their direction that they're trying to go, as long as you just, like, look at it. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't even take the time. But what's great about that website, and like I said, I definitely encourage you guys to, like, look it up, but it breaks it down on every, like, item. You're not reading through this multi-page, like, 100-page document. It really have these, like, just line items, and it even shows, like, the progress on how, like, quickly it's, like, going through and being processed. So I it's a good tool, just like APAC
Yeah.
Tracker, but whatever.
APAC Tracker is great.
Yeah.
Ice Tracker, I don't know if you've seen Ice Tracker, but, that
Mm-mm.
one's pretty good too. Keeps on saying that
Nice.
poor connection. But, if, you wanna, complete, this episode with, the economy, if you don't wanna talk about anything else?
What did complete it with what?
Oh,
Sorry, my
if
brain
you
heard
wanna
the commie, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
economy. If you wanna,
And I was just like, you stopped me in my tracks. I was like, "Huh?"
my bad, my bad. If you want to, complete the episode with talking about the economy,
Oh, economy.
yeah, the
Yeah,
economy.
no. Yeah. So, which I also put this on a TikTok because that's where a lot of I've been putting the information out really, and until we really started this whole commentary. Um, People don't understand we are still in the pre-war economy. The effects of the war hasn't really hit us yet. So it will now though, because as of yesterday, we received our last shipment of oil. And I don't think a lot of
Mm,
people understand that. And I don't think they understand the impacts of that. Additionally, too, which we talked about before in terms of the Strait of Hormuz, not only being a major source in terms of oil, but it actually ships 30 to 33% of the world's fertilizer. And I made a video on that too. And the comments again were just, ooh, ooh, so stupid. Um,
yeah,
I just people kill me and they're just like fertilizer. It's just you just put food. You can just compost food and there you got fertilizer. Like, hello. Let's all you This is what my big problem with Americans is that they lack associative and cognitive thinking and it really drives
yeah,
me nuts. Yeah, we can compost food and we have a lot of food waste that we can do that, but are we doing that? No.
yeah,
How long does it take to compost food? I just started my garden and I'm learning about it and it takes time. Like, it
yeah.
takes time for food
People
in
don't
the
even know how to
environment
garden mostly.
to break things yeah, and I honestly strongly encourage people to try because, it is gonna get crazy out here, and I don't think
Mhm,
people
mhm.
understand, economics because, economists I can't even talk right sometimes, my apologies,
I can't either.
they are projecting that food costs, even within this year alone, will rise another 15 to 20%.
Yeah,
This fertilizer thing is not just I don't think they they really just understand how much that's really gonna impact and what's in here in the US, what it's really gonna impact is, like, the US in terms of, like, the corn production because a lot of the fertilizer that we do rely on that, it's a lot of it does go towards our corn production, and once we start experiencing like food shortages, let's say these farmers aren't yielding enough because of these lack of fertilizer and things of that nature, there's going to be food shortages. When there's food shortages, there's also going to be an increase in price. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
people get that. So that's gonna be talked so we're gonna end up getting an increase on food costs because of shortages, because supply and demand go hand in hand, and then we are going to experience the economics war and how that's going to impact our inflation too, and I don't think people really understand the impact of that and how many especially if farmers are not able to keep up because farmers do hold actually on to a lot of debt and stuff like that too, because, farm equipment things is expensive, which I understand a lot of the gross medium, like, income in farmers is quite high here in America, but yeah, their income is high. I think it's like $1.5 million, which I know people are like, "That's a lot." Like, farmers got money. Think about how much they have to put money in towards means of production in terms
Mhm.
of like processing and harvesting and all of that costs so much money. So this terms of it's not really as it's reflected, right? Um and I don't think people really understand that and that not all these farms are big major farms either. Like yes, they're large, but not so much to scale as some of these, like, corporate farms, like, these large, just, like, ridiculous farms, right? So, a lot of these smaller farms are also closing, and, as you I don't know if you know, JD Vance, he invests in, Acre Trader, which they are buying up these lands that these farmers can no longer afford, and it's just
Yeah,
it's a scary road, and that is and
it is.
it's just very scary, and it's really sad because some of these farmers and these old time, long time farmers are generational farms that are
Mhm.
now losing their family freaking like, that's their life, that's their what they're known, and it's sad and kind of hard to see, to be honest, because in America, because we live in such a capitalist society, we don't have, really kind of back I can't remember the word for it right now, but when people had for their families that were targeted within
Yep.
certain trades, like,
Okay,
"Oh,
Luke.
we're a family of, like,
Okay.
these, um like, we're a family of blacksmith, and we're a family of this," like, that's not necessarily a thing anymore, and it's kinda sad to see that the ones that really do still have that kind of, like, legacy, I
Mhm.
guess legacy careers, I guess you maybe could call it, are really farmers, and that's dying too, and it's really sad, especially since a lot of Americans here, like you said, they don't even know how to farm. So to me,
Yeah.
these people are really special. Farmers are, and being an Oklahoman and also just growing up in the South in general, like we love farmers. So, I don't
Yeah.
even know. They might not vote correctly all
So
the time. I said what I said, but
no, that part, yeah.
they're
It's funny, I talked to you this I messaged you this, but she put a, TikTok about farmers and fertilizer. I was at work and I was doing research on fertilizer and how it's, like, affecting the economy and what states
yeah.
are, what states is gonna affect most and how can I look at that, like, election-wise. It's crazy. I was like, we think her and I think so much alike. It's wild.
Yeah, I was actually screaming to my partner. I was like, "We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I know,
We
right?
vibe in the same." So,
I was
which
creating,
is
like, a
great.
full-on, like, TikTok series about, like, how, like, the farming and fertilizer and how it's gonna affect the economy, and
Yeah,
so I'm
because
I'm
I
working
really
on
don't think
that.
people
I'll yeah.
Yeah, because
People
we do
don't
need to
they're not
highlight it.
paying attention to it. Yeah.
They really aren't,
People are
and,
not
like,
paying
all
attention.
we hear is about oil, 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 but, like, food, like,
Yeah,
food,
food,
and
yeah.
there's already food insecurities, like, everywhere, and it's only gonna make things worse, and that to me is just
Mhm.
so, so just scary, um, and especially with I think a lot of people too, because I know we're talking about like the farmers and things like that, but like again, we talk about associative thinking. I don't think people are also
Mhm,
connecting like what I just discussed on the food insecurities, but people need to also remember that with the whole DEI thing and then Trump wanting to gut things and also throw more money into war, there's been cuts to SNAP and things. And majority
yeah,
of the people on SNAP are seniors, veterans, and children, the
mhm,
most vulnerable, and we they need this
yeah,
support, and so they're gonna even get even shorter, so the lives are gonna be lost, and whether people realize it or not, it is what it is, and it's true, and it's unfortunate that a lot of people are like, "Ugh, we don't need to pay for you to eat, blah, 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 blah," because, like, I think in Oklahoma, our taxes contribute to SNAP was like $36 a year, I think, for Oklahomans to pay into
mhm,
SNAP or in general for or maybe it might have been that the whole nation, but I think it's like $36 a year. And it's like, you're complaining about $36 a year when like all of your tax money is going to all of this bullshit. Like freaking if Cash Patel flying his girlfriend in a jet, to go to her
yeah,
concert. You're not mad
or
about
partying with
that millions of dollars, but we're mad
yeah,
about the $36 that you pay in a year to make sure children don't starve.
yeah,
Oh,
or
honey, if you
partying
can't
with
afford it, just say
the hockey
that. Like,
team.
I just don't understand.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just what? What? And
yeah,
to
or
all those
partying with,
people who
the US hockey team or doing wasting others' fucking money as well.
yeah. And, like, to all those people who feel that way, all I gotta say to you guys is I really hope that you never have to rely on assistance. And if you do,
Mhm,
don't. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps like you tell everybody else. Go get you a 3rd, 4th
yeah,
job and shut up like you tell everybody else. It just kills me because these
yeah,
people who are always spouting against it are always against it until it happens to them. And that's
mhm,
and that's and that's America. So
mhm,
sad. Oh, but yeah. I just hope people prepare that we're now starting to really just slow roll into the war economy. And I hope
yeah,
people really start and they should have already started. Stop paying to these corporations and overconsumption. I don't think people understand that's also propaganda here in America too. Like I use TikTok as a tool to plant seeds and get information out, but TikTok
mhm,
also too is to sorry to say guys, it's to keep you distracted from and it
mhm,
keeps you from looking shit up yourself. It throws out a lot of misinformation and it also pushes over consumption, which they want you to do because it makes you feel like you have to have these things, buy, 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 buy. And just they're keeping you in a cage and you don't see it because it's invisible. And it's
yeah,
crazy. It's crazy that people don't.
yeah,
So and I know I'm part of in the cog of a problem, but like in the world of censorship, it's hard to get information out, and that's also, why you and I started to do this YouTube because
yeah,
TikTok is not a great source, and it's not a great place because there's such high censorship to be able to really talk this freely. And again,
yeah,
also why I started a podcast because there's
yeah.
too much censorship.
It's TikTok's very bad. Like, our one of our accounts got banned, and other one got a couple flags on videos, and yeah,
Yeah.
ever since
No, I
ever since the takeover the American takeover TikTok, it's been pretty shitty, honestly.
it just so the listeners out there know, because I know a lot of my listeners do come from TikTok, they the video that got the main account banned, the main account was almost to like a 10,000, which I know 10,000, there's other people with like way more like followers, but it was almost at 10,000, which I was pretty proud about. Um,
Yeah,
it got banned over a ad for the podcast over human zoos
mhm,
and for misinformation, which none of it was misinformation. Like not a single thing. It was literally history that
yeah,
happened.
it's
Oh,
wild.
TikTok. So, so ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
So, But I hope people do enjoy kind of how we are now more in a commentary and like talking things. And um if you guys have any like thoughts, opinions, or anything, like you can always reach out to us on TikTok, like shoot us a message, like that's available.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we'll definitely listen to it. If you guys want to shoot us an email too, it's unmuted history. I know I did it backwards. Just maybe I had dyslexia that day. I'm not quite sure. But it's unmuted history at gmail.com. Dyslexia happens. I do it all the time.
Yeah, me too.
But
Yeah.
it's it's unmutedhistory at gmail.com, and you can always send us an email. And we definitely appreciate you guys' support. So this is how it's going to be going on. We're going to be highlighting just different candidates and just discussing things that are happening in the world and for that week. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. And nice to introduce Adam finally, like fully.
Thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. This is so much fun. Appreciate everyone. I'll be doing more videos as well, and we'll get into a lot of other topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like typical sign off. It's been Nicole and
Adam,
oh,
thank
that
you
was delayed.
guys.
We'll do it again. And yeah, it's Nicole and no, okay,
Adam,
we're not.
thank you.
Dang, Adam, wait. We're not good at this. We're not good at this, guys.
I'm
But this
sorry.
has
I'm
been
very lame.
history.
I'm a very lame person.
It's okay. And one fry short of a Happy Meal. And I don't know if y'all saw those. Those Happy Meal fries are small. So a lot lacking up here. But this has been History Unmuted. And until next time, thanks, you guys.
Thank you.